What's going on, guys? Welcome to AlgiereRanch, where I have a homestead in the front and a ranch in the back. I'm Charlotte. This is Jay. We are first generation ranchers, homesteaders. Everything is brand new to us. So
Are you not going to introduce the boys?
I can introduce the boys. We got Titan, Zeus, and Apollo, who's been playing ball all day and he's exhausted.
All right, now here's the challenge. Pick who is the oldest and who is the best. Just leave a comment. It is either Apollo, Zeus, or Titan.
Who's it gonna be?
Who's it going to be? Okay, you're free.
Go.
Go.
Play.
Go.
This is not a beer, by the way.
Definitely not a beer. This is 1P Energy. If you don't drink 1P Energy,
Anyways, what we were saying, we are first generation cattle ranchers, homesteaders, and we just wanted to show you guys the land and kind of give you a tour of the entire property and also talk about how we found the land, because I know that a lot of people who either want to start a homestead, maybe have a farm, or just want to have a bunch of land. Land is just really hard to find right now, and we did kind of luck out. We were like super blessed with the whole situation that we found this land. So,
and this is the garden.
I wanted to outline like what the shape of the property looks like.
Well, you didn't.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it with sticks.
How are you going to do that?
I'll show you. I'll show you the overall shape of the property with a bunch of sticks first, so you can see where we're at. I'm messing it up. Watch out.
Yeah, that's probably good. Yep, that'll work.
Okay.
Over there. Apollo.
Oh. So this is the property. This rock is the house. It's kind of out of scale. The house is actually a lot smaller than that. But basically, not even. It's more like this section right here is like the homestead / house area. So just to put it into perspective, like if you're looking for a homestead, then you don't need to get a whole bunch of land just to have a good functioning homestead. So that's not our main goal. Our main goal was to do the ranching in the back, which is why we ended up getting more property in the first place. So when you are looking, just look for what your goal is. But essentially, this is a living space and the homestead. Right here in between the bigger pasture and the house, we have our middle pasture. So we have a gate right here and a gate right here. So the cows have been in this area a decent amount. And then we cleared this spot with the skid steer, the excavator, and got as much of the wooded land out of that spot. So now what we're doing is we're working on clearing this whole spot. So we have some grass growing in the middle pasture now, and all of the stumps are removed from this spot, but now we're working on removing them all from this spot over here. So now that you kind of got an idea of how the land is shaped, we'll just go ahead and do a little tour. So right now we're in the homestead area / front yard / living area.
Is that the house?
That's the house that we live in. No. That's the well house. We got the house right behind you.
What happens in the well house?
The water comes out of the well house. So the house right behind you. When we bought the property, the house was basically empty on the inside. There were just a few walls, but even the floors, you could like see right through them and stuff. So before we even moved in, it was a process to, first of all, find the land, and then once we finally found it, we had to, it took us a while to actually get the land. and then we finally got it, and then we had to remodel. So it was a really long process of getting the land, but now we're finally here and rocking and rolling. So we had to remodel that.
When we bought it, it was all the way down to the bare frame.
Yeah.
And we had to redo all of the plumbing, all of the electric, and literally basically rehab the entire house.
Yeah.
But it was worth it, because if that wasn't here, we wouldn't have been able to buy the property.
Yep.
Just in how the deal with the property lined out. So from a financial standpoint, having this little house on here really made it able to happen. So
yeah, so we were definitely thankful for that.
Yep. All right, well, let's go on a tour. Again, I'll show you. This is the garden. But we got the farm mobile.
Yeah, this thing was gifted to us and has come in so handy.
Literally saves us on everything we do.
It really does. Especially when we're working way down there and we forget something. Right here next to the garden.
The garden.
We have this little section right here that for a while was not very usable. It was just covered completely in weeds, kind of like how that section is right here. We came out here and Jay mowed so many of the weeds down. We'll be able to use this so much more for animals. Sheep is what's coming in here next, so we'll get some fencing up here and then we'll be able to utilize this.
Sheep or goats. We need to keep open.
Are you still thinking about goats?
You know,
I thought we were set on sheep.
I mean, I'm pretty set on sheep, but I'm willing to see what the people say.
Open to it? Okay.
Yeah. One of the reasons why we're wanting to start with the sheep here is because we don't have full electric around the entire property yet, and just keeping them in. We want to make sure we can get them here, because all of this is electric right now. So when I say electric, I'm meaning electric fencing.
Mm-hmm.
So then we'll be able to pretty much square this in and get used to how the sheep or goats, whatever we go with, operates, and then we'll be able to use them in the rest of the land as well.
Yeah, manage some weeds for us.
And see how they do with the grass. You know what I mean?
Okay, so this is one of the first pastures that we had set up for the cows. This is connected to the front half of the house, so we snuck in a little extra pasture area right here. So we put up all this fencing when we first got here. And right here along this tree line, there used to be another fence right there. There was barbed wire in a lot of spaces when we first got this property. So technically this could have been like part of our front yard, but we were like, well, we wouldn't use all that space. So
yeah,
as much pasture as we can get, we'll use. So that was the goal. So we ended up taking that barbed wire line down, and now this goes straight into that middle pasture down there. So right now we are in what we call the middle pasture. So it's actually fenced off right here at the edge, and then you saw the fencing up there at the top. So all of this is connected to where the front of the house is, basically. So the cows can just come in here, and right now we have electric on the front side up by the house, and then one side over here as well, and then the rest is barbed wire that was here before we even bought the property. Right now we are working on clearing the land as much as possible, because everything that you see right now was basically wooded when we first got the property. So that being said, it wasn't like the perfect piece of land ever, but Jay had a really good vision for exactly what he wanted when he was looking at the land, and so we're creating that. It's not like it met his vision perfectly when we were looking at it, but it's slowly but surely becoming more and more what exactly basically he had in mind.
Yeah. It definitely had the canvas to be able to be painted, so.
Yeah. So that's been really cool to watch it all really come to life. This section is the closest to being done so far. We obviously still have brush piles that we will burn when the time is right, but all the stumps and everything are out over here. So now we'll go into the main pasture area over here. All right, well, we are down here in the main pasture. So this is where the cows hang out majority of the time. And we thought for sure they were gonna be hiding from us because right now we just have barbed wire fence set up around, but we're working on getting electric all the way around up here. And then we'll section them off and they'll have like smaller paddocks. We're just not there yet. So now they're just roaming around and they're all just hanging out over here. Here's some right here. Hi everybody. So this is definitely our biggest chunk of land. So right now we have 12 cattle down here. And then this is our chicken coop. We have an automatic door on here. And we have 10 chickens that are probably hiding in there. Everybody's just hanging out. So the front up by the house is already pretty much good to go. Middle pasture is basically healing from when we worked on it last. And now it's just we're trying to keep that grass growing. Back here is where we're really working on it the most right now, where we have tons of stumps out here. There used to be like tons of cedar trees throughout here and you couldn't even see the shape of the land. It was just like a wall of forest. Kind of like how this tree line is. And that's how it used to be pretty much everywhere. So it's been a tall task getting the trees out and the stumps out and all the brush. So that's why you see a bunch of brush piles. Once it gets a little bit more damp out here, then we'll burn those. But
Winter.
Yeah.
We get a wet fall maybe, but.
We also have a ranch channel. So that channel talks about everything back here with the land and the cows. So if that is something that you're just really interested in, then we had a whole video too on exactly what we're doing to improve the land back here. So if you want to see that, go ahead and check that one out. That channel is a lot of fun too. So here is our pond, and this was here when we first got the property. And right up here is where we're going to build a barn slash gym slash storage area, because as you might have seen, that shed up there is the only storage that we have in the whole property. So eventually we will build a couple more ponds further down here just to catch even more of the water so our cows can have more spots for water, especially as we do start breaking up their paddocks. And then we won't have to transfer water over to them. It'll just be a lot simpler. So that's something that we'll work on in the future. And this will all be pasture eventually. So we're very excited for that.
We'll get there.
We will. So.
And when we first got it, it was all wood, so it already looks massively different.
So we had a timber company come in and they took out all the logs and everything, but we did go into depth a lot on that last video that we just did on the ranch page, which we'll link that in here. If you are interested in what this looked like before versus now, you can go check that video out.
Big difference.
huge difference. All right, well, that's all we have for today. Just wanted to give you guys an overview of what the homestead area looks like / the ranch side of things, so you can kind of get a general idea of the property, and if you are looking for a piece of property, then how we found ours. So it wasn't perfect right away, but we're making it exactly what we wanted. So thank you for joining us, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
I won't, but yeah, she will.
You, maybe.
He said, I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you in the next one. Not me, but Charlotte.
Yeah, it did.